Welcome back, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome back.
It's Bill Burr time. We got lots of Bill on the channel.
Bill's my fave.
He's your fave.
Well, no, he's up
All
there.
the comedians that we've done, he's your fave?
He's not my absolute favorite, but he's like top 3, I would say.
I could agree with that for sure. I'm not saying he's not my favorite. I'm just saying that we've
Yeah.
done a lot of comedians.
I have a hard time like being decisive, so for me to pick a favorite is very, very hard. So we'll just say top 3. I do things like by picking thing in threes.
Anybody that's ever had a girlfriend or a wife knows that's a common theme. Bill would agree, I'm sure.
Probably.
I'm 100% sure Bill would agree. Yeah, so when we, it's a funny thing that she mentions the 3 component, because if we go to a restaurant and she doesn't pick something to eat, and she's like, I don't know what to eat, what should I eat, I have a rule, I say pick 3.
You have to narrow it down to 3 before you talk to me about it.
And then I'll pick one of the 3. That's how it generally works.
It's
So
true.
it's funny that we're talking about this, because what we're doing today is jokes that drive my wife crazy. So we started off with a joke that didn't drive Samantha crazy. So that's a good start. And but yeah, we've both really liked Bill. We have a lot of other comedians on the channel. We've got, Patrice O'Neill. We've got Jim Jeffries. We've got Chris Rock. We've got George Carlin. We've got
Sarah
Roger
Millican. I like her a lot.
Dangerfield, Sarah Millican, Jimmy Carr. I was going to say Jimmy Barnes, but that's...
George Carlin. Did you say George Carlin
I did
already?
say him. Anyways, we've got tons. Also got sports on the channel if you enjoy that. So if this is your first time on the channel, we got music, comedy, and sports, 2 videos every single day. And so you should hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, make sure you don't miss anything. All right.
Join us.
You ready for some more, Bill?
I am. Let's do it.
Let's see what kind of jokes that drive his wife crazy.
In 2011, and by me and my wife, I mean I paid for it, right? She hates that joke, but I don't give a shit. It's true. And she's always breaking my balls. Don't put your shoes over here. They belong over there. Yeah, well, I bought over there, and I bought over here, so I'll put my fucking shoes wherever I want to. Oh, shirt's coming off. Where's it going? Right? So we get into the house. She's scoping out the house because she's smart. She's finding the rooms that get sun. She's checking out the closet space. And me, like an idiot, I want to check out the garage. For whatever reason, I'm drawn to this thing. And I go down, I open the door, and the last people hadn't cleaned it out. There was like a busted refrigerator, an old file cabinet, an ab roller, something from a luau. There was like 7 failed businesses in this goddamn thing.
I'm afraid to get married, man. Why man wouldn't be afraid to get married at this point? Look at Kobe. Look at the shit he's going through right now. All right? Guy's getting a divorce. His wife's gonna get $70 million. Never hit a layup in her life. Can anybody explain these divorce settlements? Can anybody make sense of these fucking things? Tiger Woods' wife, $250 million. She's a babysitter worth $250 million fucking dollars. Somebody, go ahead. Somebody, explain, justify it. Justify it. What, he cheated on her? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. He cheated on her. Great, the relationship's over right then. Kobe cheated, right? Shouldn't that relationship been over right then? Why did she hang around like some jaded cop for 3 years trying to get her fucking pension? Right, get that 10 years in? I don't know, maybe that's too harsh. That shit bothers me, man.
Let's have a little empathy here. Put yourself in a lesbian's shoes. Who do lesbians date? Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, I bought you the shiny thing. Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions. Not gonna happen. The best you're gonna get is I'm sorry, but I know what it's like to be winning a fucking argument. You're winning, and then they turn it around. They're crying. You're apologizing. You're thinking, what the fuck just happened? How am I losing this shit? I had you on the ropes. You feel so dumb. You gotta go for a walk, and you're just thinking, how did I lose again? And then you figure it out. It makes you feel stupid, and then you see some bald idiot with a giant orange mustache, and you're like, you know what? Why don't you take some of that shit?
How much football do you watch a week?
I watch 2 games on Sunday. I tape 3.
Right.
Then I watch the Monday game. And then Tuesday I watch one of the 3 that I taped. Wednesday I watch another one. Then I watch the Thursday night game. And then Friday, I got to watch the Sunday night game. Then
Okay.
Saturday, I watch college football.
Okay.
And it's fine.
Okay.
Because I have a simple male brain that can just sit there and just enjoy it. I can just enjoy it.
So does your wife watch any of these games with you? Does she?
No, she has the female, complex, multitasking brain. That's why they can't be happy. They just always, they're like, what is that lizard that can look at two things at once? That's what they're like.
I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, do a little people watching. Take a look at the look on the average lesbian's face, all right? I don't mean a lesbian in her 20s. She's got a whole life ahead of her. She's got Christmas in her eyes, right? I mean a lesbian about 35, 36, starting to settle into what the deal's gonna be, right? And then look across the bar, find a married guy about the same age. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on her face. Go back to his face. It's the same fucking look. And then look at gay guys. Some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life. They're almost too happy. It's like, hey, how's it going? They're like, hi! Almost floating across the room with that lack of estrogen just yanking down your fucking dreams. I'm not saying all gay guys are just blissfully happy, but it's looking like a pretty good time to me. Lesbians are up at the bar like a bunch of jaded cops. That's all fucking bullshit. What the fuck was I thinking? U-hauling after 10 days, moving in. What the fuck was I thinking? She's crazy!
I gotta tell you, the way white women somehow hijack the woke movement, generals around the world should be analyzing this. The woke movement was supposed to be about people of color, and it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. My name is her, with my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trash and white guys, the nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. And occasionally, when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to?
Every relationship has the person that will take the trash bag out of the trash barrel and do a little tie it off, and then leave it slumped against the counter like it took two behind the ear and a mob hit. And then there's the person that actually picks it up and takes it out to the curb at night and puts it in the trash can, right? My wife's hilarious, man. I love her, but she's got some of the worst excuses ever. I'm like, why don't you ever take out the trash? She goes, I would, I'm just afraid of coyotes. I'm afraid of the coyotes. It's like, so am I. So am I. They're rabid dogs. They hunt in packs of 2s and 3s. You don't do it because you don't want to do it because you know I'm going to do it. Just get the fuck away from me, please. No, I'm telling you.
No means no, that's another.
Wonder what it's like living with Bill.
Oh my God, probably.
What do you think it's like?
Living with
If you were
Bill?
Bill's wife, what would that be like?
I don't even know. I think that it would constantly be him like this.
You think it would constantly be him like this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's probably a little more tame at home.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think this is definitely part of his personality.
Yeah,
to,
I feel like he's just himself when he's up there.
Agreed. I think you can see that even in the interview that he did with Conan there, right?
Yeah.
You know, you could say parts of it are, part of his sketch and part of the routine.
Like, I don't really feel like he's portraying like a character when he's up there.
Some other comedians, you could say that to be true, right?
Yeah.
They are portraying, a comedic routine or a sketch, and then when they go do interviews and stuff, they're a different kind of person.
Yeah.
But I think Bill, he's just true to his colors in most
Bill
respects.
is Bill.
Yeah. This one it's funny because it's been a while since we've done Bill.
Yeah.
So I did kind of forget some of his shock value or shock factor that he's willing to say whatever is on his mind, like we just said. and it seems like it's different time periods as well.
Like little snippets.
Yeah, but we're still seeing the same Bill over each time period. So he's just, like you said, reflective of himself, I guess.
Yeah, I think the thing with him that I like is that, like, even though obviously he touches on touchy subjects, it's usually pretty relatable. Especially I feel like when he's talking about things that have to do with like relationships or like current issues in the world, I feel like, it's regardless of where your stance is on the issue, you can like laugh still because you can at least like relate that, like understand, the point that he's making because it's like relatable.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's like the going theme with some of the race related stuff that he touched on there, right? It's like, or even anything you could apply it to,
The
right?
relationship stuff.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, that, there's generally people are speaking about the issues that aren't being affected by them, but have a strong opinion about it. And I think even that transcends like the people that you have. I mean, not to get too political or anything like that, but the people that you have in office, right? They're, hammering about these issues like, somebody like Elizabeth Warren will say she's, a political candidate in the U.S. And I think she was part of the Green Party. We're not from America, so I'm not an expert on American politics, but she will, rally against corporations and like say, she's for the poor and, advocating against the rich and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, her net worth is like 10 million or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
what are you doing to?
It's out in front. You're saying all these things, but when it comes down to it, you're, like he said, in your nice SUV with heated seats and acting like you care about the issue. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's what I like about Bill is that he will, just say how ridiculous everything that people discuss is in a comedic sketch and make a valid point about it.
Yeah, I think the thing that I like about him too, though, is that like he calls people out with no hesitation, but he'll call everybody out equally, like even himself. Like he even makes fun of himself half the time.
And that's what you have to do as a comedian.
Exactly.
Right?
So he does a good job at that.
Nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah.
We're all got our flaws.
You don't do it because you don't want to do it because you know I'm going to do it. Just get the fuck away from me, please. No, I'm telling you.
No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that.
That's one of my favorite things. It'd be great if you were a movie critic.
My wife has such
It really
a
would
big
be great.
heart, and we're always watching TV, and she's forever getting teared up, and I'm laughing my ass off. Like she used to watch The Biggest Loser, and these fat people would be crying about all the cookies and burgers they were eating, and they were crying like they lost a dog or something. No, most of the world is starving. That's why. Like I went to like India, and I saw this level of poverty that I just made me want to adopt every kid over here. And then you just come back to America, and there's these slovenly people. I just can't stop eating Oreos. And it was just so hilarious.
It was a horrible thing that happened, and you should be feeling all of those feelings, including anger. But just walk away.
That's what he should do, is just walk away. Although,
It's
I would be
over.
tempted to pull a female move and get some revenge, and I would tell her dad, what he...
You know what you raised?
Do you know what a you're in love with? That's half your DNA. Did she get that from your wife? No.
No, yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
don't do
need
that.
to go. There's no need
No,
to
because
insult
then
your
he'll look
mother
like an
into it.
asshole, and then he'll understand why she did it. I'm trying to inflict the most pain here. Walk away.
Now thinking about is this
We got some more T-shirts today. That was slightly distracting with that visual.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Scary.
Yeah, I don't know. A floating head Bill is not my kind of Bill.
always alone, sitting here keep on.
Every time I think feminism has kind of like died off, you know, like a band you can't stand. They haven't put out an album in a few years. You're like, oh, good. Did they quit? Did they break up? And all of a sudden they come out with some more shit. You're like, ah, fuck, what is it now? I'm just fucking with you. Feminism doesn't bug me. It doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of it or anything like that. For the simple fact that I know it's gonna fail, you know? I take comfort in that. I do. I'm not rooting for it because I know it doesn't like me. Do you know why I think it's not gonna survive? Why it's not gonna be successful anyways? Because they still need men's help to make it happen. I don't understand it. I don't understand why women just can't work with each other and make this shit happen. They keep coming to us like, you more men need to care about this issue. Where are the men to stand up and say something? Like, why do I have to fucking say something? This is your fucking problem.
Like that Colin Kaepernick guy, right? You knew when he was like protesting during the national anthem. He got about halfway through that. People like, my brother's fighting in Iraq, you fucking piece of shit. It's just like, buddy, nobody is saying your brother isn't in Iraq fighting. You're not listening. This is about police brutality. My brother's a firefighter. He watched 9/11 on television. No, buddy. Nobody's saying that your brother's not a firefighter. I got a bone spur in my heel. I can still stand up during the fucking song. Buddy, nobody is saying you can't see a fucking podiatrist. All right? You're not listening. That's what it became. It went from not listening to women to just believe women, right? And then, you know, and then people just like, did you see that story? Did you read this story? You can't make something like that up. I always want to be like, well, did you see Star Wars? I mean, somebody made that up. They made like fucking 15 of them, you know? People can make shit up, right? You're part of the fucking problem. Get the fuck out, you know? I got 3 hours into this job. My forearms were cut. I had dirt, sweat, cobwebs all over me. I wanted to burn down this fucking house. I was ready to leave, but out of nowhere, my wife showed up. Big smile on her face, and she'd made me a sandwich. Cut it in half diagonally, which is love. They don't cut it in half. They might as well frisbee it at you. Like, here you go, you fucking piece of shit. Do you know, to this day, every once in a while, I still think about that sandwich. It just pops in my head like this fond memory. I'll just be myself talking in the car. Remember that time she made me a sandwich? That was unbelievable. She cut it in half, Fritos with an ice cold beer. I felt like a king. That's all it takes. You know what it felt like in that moment? You remember that movie, Shawshank Redemption? You know that scene where the prisoners are drinking the beer on the rooftop with the sun in their face? That's what it felt like. The only thing missing was Morgan Freeman's voice narrating over the top. And for 20 minutes, Bill Burr felt like a free man. Quick story. Me and my wife bought...
Oh, God, that was good.
You like that one?
Yeah.
They weren't jokes that drove you crazy?
No. I mean, I can see why some of them might drive his wife crazy, but I found them funny.
Any particular ones that you thought might drive his wife crazy that you remember or recall?
I mean, I think that like just some of the ones that he tells about, like, I guess the context of relationships and stuff. I guess if you were in a relationship with him, you might kind of take some offense to it. Yeah. But I mean, I think that, you know, he's probably dramatizing that they make her crazy just for dramatic effect. Yeah.
I particularly like when Bill, you know, he takes the extreme positions of people and just highlights the ridiculousness of it.
He does that very well.
I like that, like, you know, because there are certain things that people might agree with certain ideas, right? Whether it's women's rights or whatever. But I like when he will go discussing feminism, for example, and, you know, poke fun about the extremes of it.
Yes.
And say, you know, highlight when people just go above and beyond so unnecessarily to basically detract from the purpose of what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is great because not only is it funny, and you know you and I will discuss things like that all the time and be like, how ridiculous was this?
Yes.
Right, and just be like, how crazy is it that people can think this way? So, you know, you're discussing current events, current issues, being able to, you know, poke fun at it at the same time, bringing it into light for other people to discuss and, you know, be able to conclude, well, clearly this isn't beneficial for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
So if you didn't have comedic relief from somebody like Bill,
Yeah.
then everybody would be so pent up and at each other's throats about, not being able to highlight the hypocrisy with some of these things, right?
Yeah, and I think that's why, like, even though he talks about a lot of topics that other people talk about, like other comedians talk about, and I find that I don't ever really like get uncomfortable or take offense or like feel awkward when he's doing them, is because, like you said, I think that even though some of the issues he's highlighting, the issue as a whole, I might have one opinion or another on, he, like you said, he's always talking about the extremes of it. And even if you support an issue, you can still see that some people take it too far, or some people get lost of like the sight of what's actually supposed to be being talked about, right? So like, like when he's talking about like women's rights, like obviously I'm a woman, obviously I want women to have rights, right? But then some people ruin it for everybody else, and you can, it goes back to the relatability that I was talking about before, where like as a woman I can relate to that because I get frustrated when people take it too far.
Well, I mean, and I think, an example of that, right, is, as you said, like you would obviously like to have the right to vote.
Yes.
Right? But we've done, topics like women in the WNBA versus the NBA,
Yes.
right, and the pay gap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, making this argument that people should get paid just because they're a woman.
Yeah,
Right? It makes no sense.
No,
Like
no
when you
logical sense.
drill down and you're like, no, you get paid based on what you make from a revenue standpoint. You get a percentage of that, right? That makes complete sense. It's like, it's not comparable when you say, oh yeah, every woman should be able to vote versus every woman should make an equal amount of dollars for the same job, vice versa, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what he gets into, is like the nuance of it, which makes an important discussion, but it's also really funny when you can highlight the stupidity in some of it, right?
Yeah. Or like when he was talking about, how a lot of women will, just because it's like, like standing up for women, they assume that stories can't be embellished or fabricated or made up, or like, people can't still take advantage of other people, right? And like he said, like when people are like, oh well, like somebody couldn't make that up, it's like you said, like, did you see Star Wars? Like, there are a lot of people who try to take advantage of the system and of other people these days.
At the end of the day,
So,
people have their own vested interests, right?
Exactly.
And that's probably what's going to tailor their decision making more than anything else.
gotta use your facts, not feelings.
That's right. And luckily, Samantha has some facts over feelings in her DNA. And
Usually.
I
Try to, at least.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, just like everybody, it doesn't go perfectly. But for the most part, we can have some fun with Samantha here. So that's refreshing from the female perspective, right, guys? And I enjoyed this one from Bill. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Hit the like button if you did. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you like about this one and any other ones from Bill that you would like us to check out. We always appreciate those recommendations. And if you haven't subscribed, it's your first time on the channel, welcome. Glad that you were with us for this one. Hit the subscribe button, though, because we got lots of comedy, like I said in the beginning. Don't want to miss it going forward. So hit that button, notification bell for the 2 videos we drop every single day, and then we'll see you in our next one.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.